You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Mortgage Group. I've been teaching here at Greencastle for 13 years. I've been assistant coach also for 13 years. And I think it's important in today's world that we have young people growing up with the morals and values of faith-based education.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Thompson with Integrity Mortgage Group, and I support Garin Catholic High School because I'm good friends and business partners with assistant coach Tommy Mascari. And any chance I have to support a Christ-centered education for today's youth, I take advantage of that opportunity and support in any way I can with my time, effort, volunteering, funds, and commercials like these.
Together we soar.
Garin Catholic Sports on IndianaSRN,
where you're always in the game.
Inside one of the many cathedrals of high school basketball here in the state of Indiana, a good shot of the McAnally Center here in Greencastle, Indiana, as the Tiger Cubs of Greencastle get set to play host to the Cadets of Cascade out of the Indiana Crossroads Conference. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. By Bertner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. IUPUI Sports Management, a lifetime of sports with a winning degree. By Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 logistical solution. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Nothing runs like a deer. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Sean Crow, I'm Kurt Darling. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight for a good Western Conference matchup against Western Indiana Conference matchup, as well as the Indiana Crossroads Conference. Cascade coming into tonight's contest 7-11 on the season. Meanwhile, Greencastle right around in the same boat here, Sean Kroll. 6-13 are the Tiger Cubs. Needless to say here, Sean, we have 2 teams that are still kind of feeling themselves out here going into the latter half of the season, looking to just try and get as many wins as they can, getting up ready for the postseason.
Both these teams are very senior laden in terms of starters, but it ends there. They've got 3 seniors apiece, I think, on each team. Very young squads, younger coaches looking to build programs, seeing where they can go. This is a game to it's almost a temperature game for both squads to see what they can do as they head into the draw, which happens this Sunday.
Indeed it does. That's something that we're definitely looking forward to here in just a little bit. Still a week away from figuring out who will be facing who in the state tournament coming up here in just a little while. Meanwhile, for these 2 teams, you have Cascade under the tutelage of David Carpenter. He's in his first year as the head coach of the Cadets, taking over for Chris DuBois, who was the head coach for 17 seasons at Cascade. He only had 5 winning seasons throughout his entire tenure, though, so the Cadets kind of looking for a change in direction in that program. Meanwhile, for the Tiger Cubs, Bryce Rector, 88-56 in his 6th year as the head coach of the Greencastle Tiger Cubs. This is a team, Sean, as you mentioned, they're kind of rebuilding. They lost a lot of players to graduation last year. This is a team that went 21-7 last year and won a sectional championship, but there's still some talent left over.
Yeah, that was a surprising thing in preparation for this game. We had them last year in the regional here at Greencastle as they took on Guerin Catholic. Very good squad, had some shooters. They got shut down, and I looked at their record, and I was kind of surprised because Greencastle is one of those cities and schools you always think of that's going to have a really good squad. But again, Coach Rector trying to build a program from the ground up, really kind of develop these kids into what they can be. And he's got a couple of seniors that can score, but he's looking for these younger kids to really step up and make a difference to help them in years to come.
And one thing that they certainly have struggled with a little bit all season is just kind of gathering some consistency. If you look at their schedule, they have not won back-to-back games all season long. In fact, the last time that they won back-to-back games in any fashion, whether it be 2 or more, was back late last season when they won their last regular season game, and then, of course, their 3 subsequent games in the sectional round of the tournament before they lost in the regional round of the regional semifinals to Guerin Catholic. So, needless to say, it's just about finding that consistency again.
It is, and you can say the same for Cascade, although they've won 3 of their last 5, but the last time they stepped on the floor, they got boat raced by Beech Grove 82-30, so they want to kind of get that bad taste out of their mouth. But it is hard to win on the road anywhere in the state of Indiana. Both these teams have struggled on the road. It's going to be interesting to see who kind of comes out and sets the pace early for these squads.
Indeed it will be. This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. For the private use of our audience, the use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. We'll take a timeout. More of the pregame show coming up next on IndianaSRN. Welcome back inside the McAnally Center in Greencastle, Indiana. Getting set for a Western Indiana Conference matchup between the Indiana Crossroads Conference, the Cadets of Cascade, coming on the road to take on the Tiger Cubs of Greencastle. Alongside Sean Crow, I'm Kurt Darling. So, Sean, we talked about just the overall scheme of how these teams have kind of matched up here tonight, but let's talk about some individual players as well. One of the big holdovers yet from one of the 3 big holdovers for the Tiger Cubs coming into this game, of course, Kiefer Wilson, you have Evan Alexander, and Cole Hutchison, basically their big 3 main contributors on offense.
They are all 3 of them average close to double digits. Kiefer Wilson, 9.4 points per game. Evan Alexander, 10.4, and Hutchison just at 12 points per game. And that's pretty much the scoring for this Greencastle squad, as they only average 42.8 points per game on the season, giving up 47.3.
And then you have Evan Alexander in particular. He's the only returning starter from last season's team, so you pretty much bring in a whole new system that you've still been trying to work with all season long, but you still have some athleticism as well in Kiefer Wilson, who is the quarterback for the Tiger Cubs. He was during the football season, he was actually named the Banner Graphic Offensive Player of the Year for football in Putnam County, and he also plays baseball, so some good accolades for him as well.
You love it when they are multiple sport athletes, and he shoots 40% from behind the arc, so that's something that Cascade is definitely going to have to watch out for. As you know, as a team, Greencastle shoots 32% from behind the arc, but Cascade only shoots 28% from behind the arc, so we might see a little bit of low post play early to kind of stretch those defenses out, box, get them kind of packed in, open up those shooters out on the wings.
And one of those shooters, though, for Cascade, who has had some moderate success this season, of course, is Gage Alexander. Leading scorer for the Cadets, 15 points per contest. He's also tied for the leading rebounder accolades, along with Devin Weigel there. A little over 5.5 rebounds per contest. He has a season high of 28 points, which was in a loss to Plainfield to open the season. So he's pretty much one of the big focal points of this Cascade offense that you'll probably be seeing all night long.
He is, and they're definitely going to key on him and Caden Watson as well, the only other double-digit scorer for Cascade. The one stat that jumps off the page to me, Kurt, is the fact that Cascade is 10 percentage points better from the free throw line than Greencastle is. So if there's a close game down the stretch, that benefits them. So Greencastle is going to want to try and make sure and get out early and get a lead and try and maintain it so that doesn't come back to cause any issues.
And, of course, if you're a coach, obviously you're both two teams with losing records coming into this one. What do you tell your team to just kind of set the tone, seeing as how you're pretty much going against an evenly matched opponent here, especially when you have one team coming off of a big win but another team coming off of a big loss?
I think you've got to preach the fact that this is the start of our tournament. We've got a few games left. Both teams, this is the first of 4 they have left in the regular season. Now's the time to build towards sectional. Just because our records say what they are does not mean we can't do anything come sectional time. So let's build now as we get ready for that draw to see where we're at, build momentum for that tournament, and anything can happen.
We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have starters and Sean Krall's keys to the game for teams to be successful here this evening. Don't go anywhere. You're watching IHSAA Boys Basketball on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Taking a look at the starting lineups being introduced here inside of the McAnally Center in Greencastle, Indiana. Alongside Sean Krall, I'm Kurt Darling. The Tiger Cubs playing host to the Cadets of Cascade here on IndianaSRN. Well, Sean Krall, we've met the starters here. Cascade going with Devin Weigel along with Gage Alexander, Jonas Johnson, Caden Watson, and Makai Tharp. Meanwhile, Greencastle going to be going with Tyler Rogers, Kiefer Wilson, Holton Miller, Evan Alexander, and Austin Hassler. Sean Krall, your keys to the game for these teams to be successful.
I think for Greencastle, they've got to rebound. They get out-rebounded quite often, only 20 rebounds per game. Cascade 27 on Cascade side. Got to keep the turnovers down. They turn the ball over way more than Greencastle does.
Hassler posting up against Weigel, and the tip is controlled by the Tiger Cubs. We're underway here inside the McAnally Center. Certainly like the unis that the Tiger Cubs are sporting tonight, kind of a classic look.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the way they intended or if they had laundry issues.
Either way, certainly like the variety. Tiger Cubs working the offense now, trying to set an early tone here, and there's a quick steal here by the Cadets. Another turnover, along with many so far this season committed by the Tiger Cubs. Meanwhile, the Cadets are trying to avoid a turnover of their own, but they do instead, and that's something that's certainly hindered the Cadets all season long. They average 18 turnovers a game, which is very, very too many turnovers in my opinion.
Picked up the dribble, got double teamed. Great job too by Makai Tharp, diving on the floor here on this end for Cascade. Luckily, he got the jump ball, and it goes to Greencastle.
So both teams exchanging turnovers here in the first 40 seconds of this contest. Wilson tries to dribble inside on Parsons. Nothing doing there.
Man-to-man defense for Cascade.
Again, the hold off to Alexander. He loads up a long three. Nothing there, but a good putback and follow-up by Kiefer Wilson.
They need big, big numbers from him tonight.
Kiefer Wilson, arguably one of the best athletes on this team, as we touched on in the pregame. Long three for Cascade, and Devin Weigel answers to put the Cadets up by one.
Good open look there, squared up, knocked it down. The point guard play here for Greencastle, Tyler Rogers, is going to be important for them tonight, keeping their turnovers down.
Spinning inside, Miller. Can't finish at the rim, gets his own rebound, but there's Weigel with a big block out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Tiger Cubs.
Great job getting his own rebound. Maybe a shot fake would have been better there, as you see the three ball here from Weigel. Get the shot fake, get up and get that easy bucket.
The Cadets have won 3 of their last 5 games, coming off of a big shellacking by Beech Grove, who has been certainly a surprise this basketball season. 5-0 in the Indiana Crossroads Conference. Cascade just 2-4 in that regard, as the Tiger Cubs throw it out of bounds and give the Cadets a fresh possession.
A lot of miscommunication there as Cole Hutchison came in for Austin Hassler. Hassler's 6'6", but averages 0 points per game on the year, so he's in there for his height in the beginning. Let's see what Hutchison can do, but there was confusion on that last play.
Trying to feed it inside to Weigel. Some good defense by Miller. An outside three again. Back-to-back threes from the Cadets. And they're actually going to call that a 2-point basket by Watson.
Foot on the line, I suppose.
Certainly close. But Caden Watson gets his first 2 points. So the score is... And there's a 3 ball on the other side by Greencastle. So the scoreboard's still reading 6-2, even though it looked like it was called a 2-point basket.
Cole Hutchison with the big shot there. I like the shot fake by Rogers in the corner to get the open look from 3 land.
And now another turnover back the other way, forced by the Tiger Cubs. Turning the corner, Hutchison from the elbow. Tough time finishing at the rack the first time out here on every shot here for the Tiger Cubs, and the 3 ball doesn't fall either.
Love the ball movement, though. They're getting good looks. They just got to knock them down.
Cole Hutchison had that last 3-pointer from the Tiger Cubs. And there's a nice take to the rack, right down the middle of the lane from Alexander.
Boy, shot fake, caught him off guard, got him up in the air, let him go right around, get right to the rack, really easy.
Cascade averaging just 59 points per contest this season. And a steal again by Gage Alexander, and he just has enough height to get some fingers on the rim.
Oh, yeah, almost traveled with it as well.
So 4 quick points from Alexander gives the 10-point advantage here to Cascade. And the Tiger Cubs keep coming up empty right at the rim.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. You got to knock those bunnies down.
Weigel up top tries for another 3-pointer. He can't get that one to fall, but a second chance opportunity for Makai Tharp.
And boy, Coach Rector may need to get a TO here soon.
Rogers will leave it off now to Hutchison. And a nice cut inside, and that's what you want to see if you're the Tiger Cubs. If you can't get it in contention, then try and finagle your way in.
Great cut to the basket there by Alexander. Good look on the pass. Got an easy bucket. They just need stops on this end.
And they get one right here. Adams kind of waiting for things to develop. A nice no-look pass, and fouled from behind is Alexander. Looks like you may get Caden Watson with the foul here, and indeed that is the call.
As you heard the fans say, great shot fake there by Alexander to get him up in the air, trying to get an and one, but at least still get 2 freebies.
First one is good for Evan Alexander. He's shooting 71% at the foul stripe this season. Overall, the team, though, shooting a dismal 58%.
Dodson and Potters in for the Cadets.
2 for 2 goes Alexander. He has 4 points to lead the Tiger Cubs so far.
And they're back to a one-possession game. Nice little run here for the Tiger Cubs to get back in it.
Ticking inside of 3 minutes now here in the first quarter. Cascade has had some rhythm in the early going, and a shot fake tipped out of bounds, and they're going to say that was thrown out of bounds by Caden Watson as he got up in the air, had to get rid of it, and no touch from the Tiger Cubs.
Great tenacious defense by Rogers to fight through the pick and not allow him to get a shot off. Had to fake it and threw it out of bounds.
But now you see Cascade going a little full court press here to keep the pressure on the Tiger Cubs, trying to protect that 3-point lead. Rogers between the circles. One-on-one with Alexander. Little weave action up top. Hutchison into the lane. Spin move off the glass. Can't finish.
I think he got too far away in the basket on the right side. Should have stayed in the middle.
Pull up 3 ball goes way off the mark from Watson. And the Tiger Cubs have some chances here to cut into this lead. And Miller, little hesitant there, and a throwaway. Another missed opportunity by the Tiger Cubs, and still back the other way. So you have just as many points, almost equaling as many turnovers here from both teams in the first quarter.
On that fast break, if you're Holton Miller and you're going to come out to the wing and you get the basketball, you got to be prepared to shoot it because it was 2-on-1 with numbers. If you're not going to shoot that 3, get to the rim and try and get the easy layup or the foul.
Double team along the baseline. Tiger Cubs have to get across the timeline here, and they do. Wide open 3 from Alexander. Little short. Gets his own rebound, though, off of the tip from his teammate. Looked like that was Simmerman who got a finger on it. Alexander pulls up this time and hits from just beyond the free throw line.
6 early for Alexander, and he's feeling it. Get the guy that's scoring the basketball. Let him go to work.
Greencastle on a bit of a run here. They were down by as many as 7 points. They clawed back to 1. Weigel was open briefly. Back outside. Weigel directing some traffic. Inside of a minute. And some right down the middle of the lane action. Looks like that was Caden Watson.
I was going to say defense was what got Greencastle back into this basketball game, but somehow Watson was part of the Red Sea or the Purple Sea, so to speak, and got an easy look.
He had something. Awkward bounce pass outside to Wilson. He pulls up from the elbow, a little too strong. Simmerman fighting for the rebound. Can't quite convert, but you certainly like that effort from the freshman center.
You do. They got to get Kiefer Wilson going a little bit here, the senior leader, 6'3". He's a little bit off on a shot tonight. Luckily, Evan Alexander, one of the other seniors, has taken up the cause.
And you certainly see a lot of younger players playing here for the Tiger Cubs today. You have Simmerman as well as players like Alexander, also one of the seniors, but still Hutchison, a junior. Some up-and-coming talent here that Coach Rector may have to work with here in the coming years.
Ooh, nice help defense there by Alexander.
And the jump ball is going to be called. Tiger Cubs want a traveling violation, but the arrow will be favoring the Cadets here with 13 seconds left here in the first.
I mean, look at Simmerman. He's a freshman getting some quality minutes here for the Tiger Cubs. So we talk about their youth, and then that really plays into the factor of how well they play or how well they don't.
3 ball off of the inbound. Weigel can't convert. 9 seconds left here for the Tiger Cubs to get a final shot. Rogers tries to draw the foul, can't convert. Long pass, and the shot well short, and it's a 3-point lead for the Cadets going to quarter number 2. You're watching IHSAA basketball on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
A 14-11 first quarter here in favor of Cascade. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. The Tiger Cubs trailing the Cadets right now by 3 going into the next 8-minute period of this first half. Sean Kroll, your thoughts of the first quarter?
A lot of turnovers like right there,
and
but
there
it went to a bucket from Dodson, and turnovers creating easy buckets for either squad has led to this 5-point lead for the Cadets.
Dobson is the first player off of the bench for the Cadets to make a basket here today. Meanwhile, the Tiger Cubs still trying to keep the offensive rhythm going, and doing that right there almost as Alexander can't quite get the lucky bounce.
Had a good look, did everything but go down. He's been their main scoring threat tonight.
Alexander leads all scorers with 6 points, 2 of which coming from the free throw line.
This is the 36th meeting in the last 36 years. Right now, Greencastle leads 18-17. Cascade would love nothing more than to tie that up.
And of course, that's only the last 35 years.
Yes.
These are 2 schools with a lot of rich history in their own. You have Cascade, which was a school started in 1964 off of the consolidation from Clayton, Amo, and Stylesville. Stylesville, one of the old gymnasiums, as you see a big 3 from Dobson, fruitless right there. Back the other way comes Wilson and gets the reverse lay-in.
There we go. Got to get Wilson rolling. That's a good way to do it on a fast break.
Of course, the Stylesville Gymnasium we were talking about, that's now a warehouse in the middle of Stylesville, Indiana, just in the southwestern part of Hendricks County.
Love the McAnally Center, though. One of the great gymnasiums in the state.
Weigel trying to shake off Holton Miller. Step back 3 ball on the way, and Gage Alexander is just off the mark. And another steal for Cascade.
Boy, both teams got to really cut down on these turnovers, especially in the passing lanes.
Greencastle averages 13 turnovers per contest to their credit. But they also average, meanwhile, the Cascade Cadets, they average 7.5 steals per game. So if Cascade is going to commit turnovers, they also certainly like to force them as well.
They do. But again, that's what young teams are like. And then these are the coaching moments that the teachers like to do. The mental errors are the ones you want to correct, and you can watch the film and correct those things.
The feed inside now to Watson. He kicks it back outside to Connor Sanders, who is a 6'3" freshman into the ball game now for the Cadets. Long possession here for Cascade. Sanders into the lane, tries to spin around in the hook shot, gets the roll, and there's a little bit of a maybe flash of the future there for the Cadets.
Hey, you know, I love the fact that the young team was patient on offense. A lot of times with these young kids on the squad, they'll get impatient and want to get a shot up, and they didn't do it there.
There's a ball that was tipped up into the air. Wilson somehow comes down with it and converts.
Great athleticism there by Wilson. You know, I kind of love to see Greencastle with the purple jersey, too. I think that'd be a sweet look in that light purple.
Certainly match the colors of the floor and the rest of the color scheme of the McAnally Center. Of course, this is a large gymnasium, seating capacity well north of 5,000 people. One of the larger gymnasiums in the state. Certainly not rivaling places like Newcastle or Seymour, but still a great place to watch a basketball game. Back the other way, Hutchison can't convert on the go-ahead jumper.
He's got to slow down if it's 1-on-3 and let his teammates come back and run the offense and not rush a shot there.
Alexander pulls up from just inside the arc, too strong. Head of steam for Hutchison. And Wilson pumps the brakes, nearly loses the ball. Cut inside, nice ball movement there for the Tiger Cubs, and good awareness by the junior in Cole Hutchison.
He's got a nose for the basket, that's obvious.
And a 30-second timeout taken here by Cascade. Serenity Care Services is an Indiana licensed service agency. We are the friendly, experienced team of caregivers that you have been seeking. Call Angela today at 317-900-6202. Serenity Care Services, serving Indianapolis and in the 5 surrounding counties in central Indiana.
See some of the play we've had early in this basketball game. Both teams still kind of trying to get a feel for what they want to do, both offensively and defensively, Kurt.
And obviously, it's still kind of a feeling out process here, but also you just see the glaring aspects of what each team has been dealing with all season long, especially when it comes to turnovers. But needless to say, one thing I'm impressed with Cascade, as I mentioned, is their ability to create turnovers.
And that's really benefited them, and I think one of the things that Coach Carpenter stressed coming into this game was watch the passing lanes. Maybe Greencastle can get a little lackadaisical in their passing, which they have, as Greencastle tries to trap now on defense.
Inside, and Tharp gets his pocket picked by the Tiger Cub defense. Oh, and an over and back violation. That is a very good eyes by the official. It looked like he stepped on one side, but then immediately came down and stepped on the other side. And if they're right in the right place at the right time, the officials will call that.
Anthony Adams, the freshman, making the pass. He has to establish his feet in the other side before he can touch the basketball. Didn't do that. Adams has got to be more patient there.
And now we have a whistle and going to be a traveling violation here on the Cascade, as you saw. Big head of steam there, and so the Tiger Cubs getting another turnover here from the Cadets.
You don't usually see the referee on the opposite side call a travel like that.
No kidding. But
hey,
they are there, and we're at our remote studios here in Indiana, here at the IndianaSRN studios.
Hey, that's a tough job, and if you want to do it, call Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office. We need more good referees.
Of course, IHSAA is still dealing with a shortage of referees,
yes,
not just in basketball, but in all sports. Right down the middle of the lane comes Hutchison, and he gets the ball stripped out of bounds by Weigel. It stays with the Tiger Cubs.
Got a little bit of a break there. He's kind of Tasmanian devilish sometimes. You control his body more.
Off the inbound, nice take by Wilson. He now has 8 points.
Yeah, 6 this quarter. The Greencastle's first lead, if I'm not mistaken.
It is indeed their first lead of the ball game. They were down by as many as 7 in the first quarter after Cascade jumped out to a big lead. Trying to answer with a 3 ball is Weigel. That's too strong. And a foul going for the ball on Cascade.
Is it Sanders?
looks, it's going to be Connor Sanders, indeed. That'll be his first. Only the second foul by either team this entire first half.
That's incredible. Kind of like the first 3 quarters of the Super Bowl.
No kidding.
I like it. We're almost at halftime.
That means it's only a matter of time before we get a pass interference call, right?
That is true. That is true.
Cole Hutchison holding it on the left wing. Evan Alexander leaves it over to Tyler Rogers, and now back up to Hutchison. One player that has been quiet all quarter long is Alexander, but there's a steal by Cascade, and Weigel takes it the distance.
Well, Hutchison just got his pocket picked right at the top of the key.
90 seconds left here in the first half.
You almost wonder if they want to hold for one shot here.
Hutchison pulls up from the elbow and hits.
Nah, Hutchison, does this feel like leather? Yeah, I'm shooting.
And who knows, with how the turnovers have certainly been going, that might not have been the Tiger Cubs' last possession of the half. Right down the middle of the lane goes Mekhi Tharp. Or actually, no, Watson. That'll be Caden Watson's 7th point, his first bucket of the quarter.
We might have 3 or 4 more possessions the way it's going here.
Just might. So back and forth we go. 2 lead changes in the last minute. 3-pointer a little short from Hutchison.
Heat check.
Weigel along the baseline through the double team, and nice leave. And literally Tharp was just standing there uncontested and puts in the lay-in.
Might have got away with a little shuffle of the feet there.
Either way, it's back to a 3-point edge here for Cascade.
Now you imagine they'll probably hold for one.
Rogers had the 5-second count start, so he had to do something.
Look for Alexander, I think, in the corner.
And kind of a halfway 4 corners look here as you see Rogers lose the handle. It goes out of bounds. All that time for naught. A turnover back to Cascade.
Alexander tried to snag it, but just out of his hands. What can Cascade here do with 3.4 seconds?
It's still plenty of time. I hearken back to the 2008 state finals. The long pass from Austin Fish to Gordon Hayward for the lay-in. Instead, we get a foul off the inbound here, as it will probably, that's going to be against Tyler Rogers, his first, and the first foul on Cascade this half. And a steal on the inbound, and a long court heave does not go. And so it is just a slight edge to Cascade going to halftime. 24-21, your halftime score here at the McAnally Center here in Greencastle. The Tiger Cubs certainly have a little bit of work to do going into the final 2 quarters. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. We send it to halftime. You're watching IHSAA boys basketball action on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
Silos in the area have become canvases for an international artist. The artist is working sun up to sundown in Greencastle, Indiana.
On News 10 First at 5, we told you community support and grant money helped make the work possible. Well, now, new for you tonight at 6, News 10's Tilly Marlatt explains the meaning behind the giant creations.
Andre Krutzu is from New York City. He is best known by his artist name, Key Detail. He has completed murals all over the world. Now he is leaving his mark on Putnam County. It's all on display at the intersection of US 231 and Veterans Memorial Highway.
8,000 square feet, and I think it's one of my biggest projects till now.
He is freehanding the entire project using spray paint.
Started off by gridding all the silos, doing some sketching with the acrylic marker, which you can kind of still see on the unfinished silo, and we've been really pleased and impressed with how quickly he's working.
Wednesday marks day 10 of the project. Organizers expect only a few more days before the project is complete. Inspiration comes from across the county.
And we asked the community to provide input on content and style. And so we had people vote on their favorite choice of murals, of artwork as examples. And then they described Putnam County in one word.
Nature is at the core of the project design. The bald eagle is a symbol of American strength. The cow is a representation of the agriculture industry throughout the county and state. The violin is a nod to the School of Music at DePaul University. The final silo will display a covered bridge and white-tailed buck. It's all a collaboration between the community and artists.
Really important to engage with local community because they are going to see these murals every day and it's going to be part of their life.
Work that will represent the area for years to come. In Greencastle, Indiana, I'm Tilly Marlatt, News 10.
That was simply stunning.
Absolutely
artwork there.
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Well, a block party is scheduled for September the 29th to celebrate that beautiful artwork.
I can't wait to see it.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
I get her! Not solo!
You say mine did?
We're getting ready for another big night of Operation Football, and a lot of fans we know will be tuned in to see their favorite teams.
Yeah, you know, live streaming of high school sports has really taken off recently, partly because of safety concerns since the pandemic. I recently discovered Central Indiana's largest high school sports webcaster has chosen a rather unique remote location as its broadcasting headquarters. When you think Indiana high school football, you think this. But you're probably not envisioning this. So where are we sitting right now?
We're sitting in this beautiful Scottish Rite Cathedral downtown Indianapolis.
And why are we here?
This is the studios of IndianaSRN.
At the 38-yard line, and coach, that is a big first down at this point in the game.
IndianaSRN claims to be Indiana's largest webcaster of high school sports.
I founded this in 2008.
We'll broadcast about 336 games a year.
We're everywhere.
We do more games than anybody.
Grandmas love us because they love to see their grandchildren.
If you've got internet connection, you can get us.
This season, the nearly 100-year-old Scottish Rite Cathedral downtown is the IndianaSRN broadcasting studio for 3 different local high school football games every Friday night.
Well, I'm a member here.
You told him that you'd be doing games from the Scottish Rite Cathedral. What was his response?
Wow, we can get in that building?
COVID forced IndianaSRN out of their on-location broadcasting booths last season.
We were in different locations, different arenas, different gymnasiums every week, and the ADs came to us and said, look, we got to clear the building. We're not allowed to have more than the players in here. We can't have you guys in here. So we said, well, we'll bring one guy. All we need to do is put a camera on the field along with a crowd mic, and we ship that signal back through the internet to this beautiful building. And then we add play-by-play announcer, we add a color announcer, and we produce and put graphics on.
And that remote location format actually ended up working out better.
In the old days, Carlos, we'd get a call from Covenant Christian, and we'd have to race across town to get them on the air. Now, when I have 3 different teams within 30 feet of each other, if we got a problem, I can easily solve that.
The Scottish Rite Cathedral has no specific religious affiliations. It's home to the Freemasonry fraternal organization. But the guys running IndianaSRN believe there is a higher power on their team.
It's been a blessing. This is a beautiful environment to walk into and to work into.
I mean, it's a $200 million building. I joke that we have the most expensive studios in the state of Indiana, probably more than yours.
Go. IndianaSRN says the main advantages of broadcasting from the Scottish Rite, the size of the facility and the security of its gated parking lot. And this weekend, IndianaSRN takes their coverage to the next level. They're going to be webcasting their first ever college football game. They'll be calling that game on location, by the way, so they won't be in the
great.
Scottish Rite. But it's just one of those things where you don't think football in the Scottish Rite, but it provides them with a great facility because it's so big.
Yeah, I love that he says that grandmas love it because they can catch a game where I know my grandma would really like that one too, for sure.
I love watching their coverage because I'm a Covenant Christian fan, okay? Class A, you know, we would never get this kind of coverage, even radio coverage, but these games are televised, like the game you were showing was Heritage and Covenant Christian, and so you can watch those at home if you can't make it to the game. You'd never have that opportunity before.
You can go to WTHR.com for a link to the IndianaSRN website.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Support for tonight's broadcast of IHSAA basketball on IndianaSRN comes from the IHSAA Foundation. Subscribe to our newsletter, The Advocate, at IHSAAfoundation.org. Thanks to the IHSAA Foundation for what they're doing for our student athletes. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. Welcome back inside of the McAnally Center here in Greencastle as the Cascade Cadets have a slim three-point lead on the Tiger Cubs here going into the second half, 24-21. Sean Kroll, obviously the big story of the first half was turnovers committed by both teams, but the only thing that's slightly different is the fact that Cascade has been able to force more turnovers, thus creating more opportunities for them down the stretch.
Yeah, and they've had a lot more spread out scoring. They've had 6 different guys score, and I think that has been a factor of getting some open looks down close and also result of turnovers, whereas Greencastle has only had 3 young men score tonight, Wilson, Alexander, and Hutchison. They need to spread out some of the offense. Both teams need to cut down on the turnovers, be better rebounders, be secure in the basketball. It's the most precious thing. And in a close game like this between 2 evenly matched teams, every possession is precious.
Each team scoring 10 points in that second quarter to keep the deficit at 3 points, which is what it was at the end of the first quarter. But as you mentioned, Sean Kroll, a lot more scoring from different players in Cascade. 6 different turnovers. You have 2 guys off of the bench now that have scored for Cascade. Leading all scorers, though, for Cascade is Caden Watson, who is now having 7 points. Meanwhile, Gage Alexander, who averages 15 points per contest, was scoreless in that second quarter. He had 4 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, he started off early, and he got pretty quick, a pretty quick couple of buckets there, and then kind of went dry, whereas on the other hand, Kiefer Wilson had a really slow first quarter, had 6 in the second quarter, has 8 now for the game. It's really going to come down to who's going to make the plays here down the stretch in the fourth quarter will come out victorious.
So the Cadets will start the second half with the basketball. There were only 3 fouls committed by both teams all of the first 2 quarters in this ball game. So in spite of the fact that there may have been a lot of turnovers, a very clean basketball game to say the least when it comes to the foul department. And off the second chance opportunity, Jonas Johnson is able to extend the lead here for the Cadets in the first bucket of the second half.
Nice move by Hutchison. No foul called on the contact, but rebounding is going to be huge as well, Kurt.
Another turnover here by the Tiger Cubs, and a whistle and a traveling violation on the other side by the Cascade Cadets. So you have 3 turnovers on the first 4 possessions, pretty much keeping with the theme of the first half.
And again, we've talked about it, young squads, that stuff kind of happens. But you want good quality possessions with good quality shots.
The Tiger Cubs looking for precisely that right here with Wilson double-teamed and gets a nice quality shot right there from in the lane.
That's a great possession, getting the post pass into Wilson. got us back turned. Nice little turnaround jumper. Keep going there.
Wilson now with 10 points on the night. He leads all scorers. And another steal from the Tiger Cubs. And kind of a wise move right there by Wilson to stop short of the timeline to set up the offense for Rogers. And a whistle before the shot and a traveling violation by Wilson.
Man, young man, get back down in that lane and post up like last time. Everybody wants to do the three-point shot and be Steph Curry. There's something to be said for some post play.
Of course, only one person can be Steph Curry, and that is Steph Curry himself.
Yeah. The only person remotely close is Seth Curry.
Meanwhile, back down low, Jonas Johnson adding another bucket. He has 4 points. Out of the starting lineup here, he was scoreless through the first 2 quarters. Back the other way. Nice take by Wilson.
Wilson's feeling strong now, taking the ball to the hole.
And so is Gage Alexander the other way.
Now we're getting going here. Maybe we need some track shoes on.
So here we go. 4 points in the span of about 20 seconds. Haven't had that rate of scoring here all night long. Inside to Hutchison. And tries to go around to Rogers. Nothing doing on the cut. Hutchison can convert on the 3.
He loves that shot.
And Gage Alexander coming down with a head of steam again. Somehow gets his own rebound. It's batted up like a volleyball. And finally, the official calls the out-of-bounds play off of Holton Miller. And it stays with the Cadets.
Frustrating rebounding opportunity there for the Tiger Cubs, and Wilson was trying to do all he could. Just a little bit of toe drag swag didn't work there for the Tiger Cubs.
Nice pull up by Watson, just a little off the mark. 5-point advantage here for Cascade. The Cadets looking for their 8th win of the season. And if they gather that win, they've already won more games this season than they had in either of the previous 2 seasons before. They won 5 games last season and 3 in the season before that. And so if they win their 8th today, they will tie both last season and the previous season's wins totals, as Weigel is short on the 3 ball.
Well, that's improvement, and you like to see that in a first-year coach in Carpenter, so he's doing some things right.
Alexander feeds it inside. Wilson spin around lay-in.
Love the pass fake there. Caused the defender to sag off a little bit. Gave him enough room to rise and fire.
Wilson has all 6 points in this quarter here for Greencastle. Weigel scoops it to Alexander. And kind of some shaky dribbling by Watson. Goes into the lane and tries to draw the charge. Instead, they're going to get a blocking foul here on Greencastle. And it looks like that's going to be Alexander getting his first.
I'm surprised Gage Alexander isn't trying to knock down some of those threes from out deep. He looks like he wanted no part of those shots.
And a missed free throw from Watson. Granted, that also might be because Gage Alexander, he shoots only 25% from the behind the arc this season. He's only made 8 3-pointers all season long. Off the offensive rebound off of the missed free throws. Again, Watson tries to make it happen, and it goes out of play. And it looks like we have a timeout called. And couldn't quite see. It's going to be it'll be a full timeout taken here by Greencastle. Back in a minute on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Timeout on the floor here at 4:25 left in the third quarter. Cascade leading Greencastle 30-27. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. And Sean, we were kind of on a historical kick in the first half talking about Cascade, but also, talking a little bit about Greencastle's history. They're one of the original kind of blue bloods of high school basketball in Indiana. They first played in the postseason back in 1917, and they competed in the state finals in the old format where there were 4 games in the state finals 8 times up until 1934.
I think Keith broadcast a lot of those games too, if I'm
pretty
not
sure
mistaken.
he did. Meanwhile, as we are nerding out over high school basketball, Mekhi Tharp gets things going for the Cadets on the floor. But, of course, Greencastle has not been to the state finals since 1934. They have 14 regional titles. Back the other way, nice shot by Wilson.
Wilson's feeling he's got 8 this quarter, but they need to get somebody else involved.
No kidding. Cascade has certainly been able to do that. They have 3 different scorers here in this quarter. And now making another one here for Gage Alexander. You were just talking about three-point shooting there, Sean Kroll.
Yeah, they sagged off of him, shooting 25% from 3. If you're going to leave him open, he decided to knock it down.
Cascade hit 2 3-pointers in the first quarter. That's their first 3-pointer since that quarter by either team, believe it or not. Step-back jumper, nicely taken by Holton Miller.
And somebody else other than Wilson scored.
In fact, somebody else other than Wilson, Alexander, or Hutchison. He's now the 4th different player for the Tiger Cubs to score this evening. And another steal here for the Tiger Cubs.
There you go. See if the defense can lead the offense here.
Into the lane. Hook shot doesn't fall for Hutchison. Hutchison kind of doing the old Kareem jump hook right there.
Yeah, he's got to follow his shot, too, because he knew it was short the second it left his hand.
And a shuffling of the feet and another traveling violation on Cascade. Meanwhile, we see the freshman center Jacob Zimmerman check back into the ball game, standing all of 6'1", and needless to say, he probably has maybe a little bit more growing to do if you're Coach Bryce Rector.
He does, and I think one of the things Coach Rector's doing there is bringing Hutchison to the bench and say, listen, big fella, let's settle down a little bit and get good shots.
Alexander trying to get one of those good shots to fall and can't right there.
Man, it rimmed out. It looked like it was good.
Spin move inside by Weigel. A nice block there. Looked like that was by Zimmerman.
Just stood his ground.
Posting up a little bit on the senior. Alexander tries again. This time he is true. 9 points for Alexander.
They needed that one.
Back to a 1-point deficit for the Tiger Cubs. Greencastle has led a couple times during this game by no more than a point. Meanwhile, the other way, Caden Watson answers with a 3 of his own.
Well, there you go. I'll see you one and I'll raise you one.
10 points for Watson now. He leads the Cadets in scoring.
Probably going to look to Wilson here.
Inside to Wilson indeed, but he's triple teamed and has to get it back out a little too strong on the pass. He tries again, and a blocking foul. It looked like Wilson may have gotten an elbow into the body there of Caden Watson, but they're going to get Watson with the blocking foul.
And on that play where they got him a great look down low, not only was it under the basket, but his foot slipped and he couldn't get any traction. Nice job by him resetting it, and then there's a turnover.
Steal on the inbound. Alexander right down the lane and converts.
He's got 7 this quarter.
Now 11 on the game. That's after he went scoreless in the second quarter, and another turnover thrown out of play by the Tiger Cubs.
Trying to do too much there is Tyler Rogers. Got to settle down.
Take a look at this play again from Wilson. Ooh. That can go either way, I guess. Yes, depends on where you're standing.
It's good. And again, I love what Coach Rector's doing here. Rogers had that play, threw it away. Come sit down next to me. Let's talk about it. What can we do smarter next time? Trying to a teaching moment to get rid of those mental mistakes that cost you games.
Of course, that's what the majority of high school basketball is teaching moments, especially for two teams like this. Not exactly having the seasons that you want. It's just a matter of teaching kids to be strong through adversity, per se.
Oh, you can handle the physical mistakes. Those happen. It's the mental mistakes that you want to try and cut down on.
Brandon Potters is into the game for the first time here for Cascade. Forty to 34 is your score right now here as, meanwhile, back the other way. 9 seconds left to go here for Greencastle to try and cut into the lead. It's at, now we have it at a 9-point advantage for Cascade. So a 3-pointer by Cascade inside of 10 seconds. Inside goes Wilson. And a charging foul going to be called on Wilson. So may have gotten a little bit of comeuppance for the previous no call that he got on the earlier end.
I think that may have been a makeup call there. As Watson hit that 3 on the other end.
So Wilson picking up his first personal foul, the second on Cascade here in the quarter. 5 seconds left to go. 3 ball at the buzzer. Doesn't fall for Alexander. We go to the 4th and final quarter. Cascade with a 9-point advantage, their largest lead of the ball game, going to quarter number 4. You're watching IHSAA basketball on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Quarter number 4 here inside of the McAnally Center on IndianaSRN. The Tiger Cubs of Greencastle with their largest deficit here to the Cascade Cadets, as the Cadets try to close things out here to get their 8th win of the season. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. Sean, if you're Greencastle now, you really have to try and get some rhythm here together to try and stay in this one.
Yeah, your defense is going to play a huge factor as well, as both leading scorers for Cascade got loose in that third quarter. Alexander had 7 and Watson had 6. Got to stop those two.
And a steal by Cascade. That's certainly not going to help the Tiger Cubs, as Alexander keeps adding to his point total. He now has 13 points.
Not a great start to the fourth quarter there for the Tiger Cubs.
Back the other way, a 3-pointer from Alexander, blocked by the other Alexander. An Alexander per team here tonight. Gage Alexander gets his pocket picked by Wilson, and he comes away with the steal. And right down the right side of the lane, he'll draw a foul with a full head of steam, and that'll put him at the line for 2.
Huge turnover there for Greencastle, because it could have got out of hand quick if Cascade would have got another bucket.
So you're going to get Watson now with his 3rd personal foul here for Cascade, the 2nd of the half for the Cadets. Wilson at the line for the first time tonight. He has certainly been getting the job done scoring-wise for the Tiger Cubs. He now has 17 points to lead all scorers.
And that's a big foul on Watson, because he's their leading scorer with 13 heading into the fourth quarter. Now he's got to sit for a while.
Wilson shooting just 58% on the season, is 2 for 2 right there, and that's a new season high 18 points for him tonight.
Needs to get a few more going here as they're down by 9.
Around the horn comes Dobson. Alexander. Watson With some tough defense here from Rogers. Gets a screen, and he buries a three. Caden Watson is having himself a night.
That's 3 threes in the second half, 4 for the game, and he is en fuego.
16 points for him now. And a nice shake and bake move there by Hutchison to get inside.
They could use some of his scoring here down the stretch to try and get back in this game.
And there's an over and back violation or out of bounds, whichever you want. Either way, it's a turnover for Cascade.
That's what Greencastle needs, defensive stops.
Look at this night, nifty move by Hutchison. Euro step inside with the fake on the ball.
A little cuppage there of the basketball.
Just a little bit. And comes away with something positive. Hutchison, the junior, standing 6'4", leading scorer this season for the Tiger Cubs. Only has 9 tonight, though. Zimmerman, the freshman, gives it back off to Hutchison, and he's too strong on another 3-ball.
Young man's got to follow a shot.
6 minutes left to go in this contest. Dobson in the double team, and a jump ball is called. Nice heads-up play by the Greencastle Tiger Cubs to at least force the jump ball and get the possession arrow back here. Ball still remains with Cascade, though.
Again, need defensive stops here. Not much time left, so a lot of ground to make up.
Leaving it off to Johnson in the corner. 3 on the way from Watson, and he hits another one. Caden Watson cannot be stopped from behind the arc, and a timeout is quick timeout called here. Back in a minute on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Off the 30-second timeout called by Cascade, just to kind of get their wits about them here after they try to kind of have to catch their breath, as Caden Watson has certainly been lights out here shooting for Cascade in the second half. He has 4 3-pointers, and those are the only shots that he's made all the second half.
31% from 3 coming in. He's increased that percentage exponentially tonight.
Hutchison can't draw the foul on the shot and can't convert the shot either. And Cascade back the other way. They have their largest lead of the night at 13 points. And now an over-the-back call here on Holton Miller. And Holton Miller certainly isn't a big fan of that one, but as you saw some gyrating down low. But either way, that's the call. Miller picking up his first. Only 5 team fouls on Greencastle all night long.
Yeah, very, very few fouls in general. Oh, my goodness.
Caden Watson in contention. Has a 5th 3-pointer in this second half.
I do love what Carpenter said. Like, he stopped and looked at his teammates, and Coach Carpenter said, get your rear end down the floor and play defense, young man. I don't care how hot you are. If you're going to play for me, you got to play the right way. I love that.
22 points now for Caden Watson. That is a new season high. And now underneath, a nice dump off underneath to Johnson.
Yeah, the wheels have come off for Greencastle.
Trying to stop the bleeding a little bit there is Evan Alexander. Meanwhile, off of the 3 threes and some change from Cascade, they are outscoring Greencastle 13-4 here in this second half.
Fourth quarter.
Cascade can't convert on that end, and back the other way here, they still have it, as Greencastle has just not been able to get anything going on offense here in the last few minutes. Completely stifled by this defensive effort here of Cascade.
And it's pretty demoralizing, too, when you have a guy on the opposite team that it seems like he could shoot it blindfolded from one leg and make it, and that's rough. That is very demoralizing.
Johnson gets the offensive rebound and is fouled from behind again by Evan Alexander. That'll be his second. And now you see the fouls kind of racking up here a little bit. Not necessarily from being intentional, you kind of just see some lax play here from the Tiger Cubs. Just the wind's been taken out of their sails here over the last few minutes.
Yeah, definitely frustration for sure is that one. I think they ended up giving it to Holton Miller.
And so they did give that to Holton Miller. That's confirmed right there. Meanwhile, Johnson makes his first free throw.
Johnson didn't score at the first half, and here he's got 8 in the second. Almost double his average.
Johnson did have a season high of 17 points against Kip Legacy earlier this season.
Well, when they score 93 as a team, I guess that helps, too.
That certainly does. A couple of players have season highs against Kip. Drake Dobson had 14 points against them. That was a 93-64 win for Cascade this season, by far their largest win of the season. Let's take a look at Caden Watson again. Just has not been able to miss at all this second half.
Cascade also scored 94 against South Central back on December 28th.
Kiefer Wilson still adding to his new season high now, 19 points, trying to eclipse 20, and he does. So in spite of the fact that he's shooting 58% at the free throw line this season, he is 4 for 4 tonight in that regard.
And he's doubled his season average.
Up top, a long three-pointer. That was not Watson. I couldn't.
Was it?
And maybe it was. Yes, it was in fact Watson. That was from way downtown. 5 3-pointers by Caden Watson in this second half. Back the other way, though. The Greencastle Tiger Cubs able to do that as well. Unbelievable there by Watson, though.
He's got 4 in this fourth quarter.
Into the lane, Johnson. And is fouled from behind by Zimmerman, it looks like.
But I tell you what, Watson's having an incredible game. But I think one thing, if you're him, is that it's on an opponent's court. Like, you come in and you just silence the crowd. That's got to be a crazy. I mean, I didn't play basketball, so I'm not sure what that's like.
And so that foul is confirmed to be on Jacob Zimmerman, his first, team's 5th.
Our producer, Casey, I'm sure he did that a lot when he was in high school.
Oh, of course.
Just light people up.
Casey Pierce was quite the basketball player.
Oh, yeah.
Jonas Johnson now 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. He's the only player for Cascade to make free throws here today. And nearly another steal. They're going to call an over and back as Anthony Adams, the freshman, getting some varsity minutes here late in the game. Meanwhile, you're going to be seeing a line change here from Cascade.
Yeah, Greencastle was the first to do it, taking all their starters out. Now, Cascade is doing the same, so some guys going to get some varsity minutes here for both squads down the stretch.
See that big three-pointer from Tyler Rogers, his first shot made tonight. And that's one thing that Greencastle really just has not been able to get, is a variety of scoring and just spreading the ball out, as opposed to just relying on a few key players. And down low, and a traveling violation going to be called here on Henry Tucker, who's a 6'1" senior for Cascade.
That's the traveling official. He's the one that's called it most tonight, even if it's across court. You got to love it.
The one thing they say about officiating, though, Sean, is if you call it, at least you're consistent.
He has been consistent, and that's what you want.
Boyd Ensley into the basketball game now for Cascade. One of the junior bench players, and throwing it out of bounds inside of 2 minutes left to go here.
Watson finishes with I have him for 25.
That's a new career high for him.
I'm not sure we've seen a three-point shooter that hot all year.
No, so I haven't certainly seen one that hot. Only three-pointers the entire second half by Watson. No other shots taken by him.
That's 6.
And he made all of them.
Yeah.
And Cascade keeping up the three-point barrage. Nothing doing there. Nick Parsons on that shot. And now Greencastle just getting some minutes here for some sub players. As Anthony Adams steps back for the jumper from the elbow, that doesn't fall.
Kiefer Wilson finished with 20 for the Tiger Cubs.
Gavin Weakley gives it around the horn to Tucker. And just a little bit of miscommunication. Adams off the steal, and the freshman getting some points here late in the game.
Oh, they called the travel.
Oh, they did. One too many steps going right at the bucket.
I need my white out. Oh.
And the score still reads 63-45, though.
Okay.
So they may have given it to him.
I saw the referee do the, but okay.
It may have gone out. It may have gone out of play as a delay of game or something like that. Either way, they're going to give the bucket to Adams. So don't get your white out just yet.
Good, he deserves it. I crossed it out already, but that's okay.
3 ball on the other way here for Cascade.
Do we know who that was? I can't read the numbers.
Couldn't quite get the number there. It looks like that was Henry Tucker who got that. So give Henry Tucker a three-pointer off the bench.
Good
Meanwhile,
for him.
Cascade content to just dribble this out. And the Cadets were played close through the first 3 quarters. But Cascade comes away with their 8th win of the season. Meanwhile, Greencastle, they will drop to 6-14 on the year. Their 3rd loss in the last 5 games. 66-45 your final. Back in a minute for the Family Source Insurance postgame show. Next on IndianaSRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Welcome back to the McAnally Center here in Greencastle, Indiana. Final score once again here for the Tiger Cubs. They fall tonight 66-45 to the Cascade Cadets. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the next games that we're going to be having here on the IndianaSRN family of networks. A unique one coming up tomorrow. Central Christian going to be playing Horizon Christian at noon Wednesday inside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis. You can catch that game right here on IndianaSRN. Then coming up on Friday, a couple of games. Brebeuf at Heritage Christian. That tip-off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And concurrently, you can also catch Brown County at Greenwood Christian Academy. That game also tipping off at 7:30 Friday. And then we will be having some special coverage of the IHSAA Track and Field Indoor Championships. The festivities start at 1 o'clock Eastern Saturday up at Defiance, Ohio, and you can catch all the events live right here on IndianaSRN starting at 1 o'clock on Saturday. We'll take another quick timeout. When we come back, Sean Kroll and I will discuss players of the game and take a look at the final stats coming up next on the Family Source Insurance Postgame Show on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Welcome back. Final score once again here at Greencastle. The Tiger Cubs falling tonight 66-45 here to the Cascade Cadets. Once again alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. Sean, obviously a couple big nights here from players on both sides of the floor here, in spite of the fact that the Tiger Cubs come away with the loss. But Caden Watson, you got to give him our player of the game props here. 25 points on 5 made three-pointers in the second half, and those are all of the shots that he took all night long.
7 3-pointers overall for the game. Kiefer Wilson had a great game, but man, oh man, Caden Watson was the definition of hot and heat check. He just did not miss in the second half at all.
And so Family Source Insurance, a proud sponsor of tonight's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in tonight to the Family Source Insurance postgame show here. And obviously, Kiefer Wilson, still got to give him some props. He finishes with 20 points tonight for the Greencastle Tiger Cubs. He has a new season high there. Meanwhile, the Cascade Cadets, they get set for a matchup against Western Boone on the road. That will be coming up later on this weekend. Meanwhile, the Greencastle Tiger Cubs, they get set for a game on the road here this weekend against Owen Valley. A good try and bounce back matchup here to try and get the season at least somewhat back on track here going into the postseason.
Yeah, Greencastle's got some things they got to try and build on here with some of the guys they got going, led by Kiefer Wilson. They've got some time. They'll find out their their draw on Sunday. We're excited about that.
It'll certainly be fun. Sean Kroll, good working with you again tonight, my friend.
Same back to you, my friend.
Well, for all of us here at Indiana SRN, thanks to Nick Lewis, our cameraman, for Casey Pierce, our on-site engineer, for Sean Kroll. I'm Kurt Darling. Final score once again here from inside the McAnally Center, 66-45. Cascade knocks off Greencastle. I'm Kurt Darling. You have been watching IHSAA boys basketball action on Indiana SRN. So long, everybody.